Well, salutations to the kindred spirits. Hey, greetings and welcome to another online card magic learning experience. And boy, I've got a good one for you today, as I can clearly recall the first time that I saw this effect performed by one of my mentors, Jon Racherbaumer. It was at a Monday night, Nights of Sleight session. We used to get together every Monday evening with a dozen or so other card magic enthusiasts and do tricks until the wee hours of the morning. It was there that I saw this, and today I'm going to share some of my latest touches on this effect, and let's get started with that now. The first edition is a target card, and since you're there and I'm here, I'll just choose one for us. If you were here, you'd pick the card, but we'll be using this one for the effect in question, and as I continue, I'll kind of walk through what I'm doing here, which is in a sense shuffle tracking, and I'll turn half of the deck face up to make this a little more visual for the viewer. As I shuffle the cards face up and face down, I'm siding the cards that go by within the mix. So some of the cards will go this way and some of the cards will go that way, and I'm taking a look. So I see a 10 and a 3, I saw a king and an ace, and seeing a couple face cards, no mid cards, so maybe a 6, or tell you what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with a 7. So if I had to take an educated guess, I'd say that was a 7. And if I had to find the 7s, I could do something like this, reversing every card in the deck. Well, not every one. 3 cards are left face up in the pack. Those are the other 3 7s, and this is our effect in question, the Topsy Turvy 4-of-a-kind triumph, or I guess more specifically, this was originally known, Ed Marlo was the first to surprise there, Ed Marlo was the first to publish his version of this trick. Yeah, Ed introduced the plot as the Topsy Turvy Ace control in the patented Shuffle book. But the routine we're going to look at today is more closely related to Nick Trost Topsy Turvy Aces, which he originally published in Subtle Card Magic, Part 1. And if you're looking for this in print today, you're going to want to look for Subtle Card Creations Part 2. You can get that at Don's Magic Books. All right, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this routine, let's take a moment to discuss the Tenkai Optical Revolve. It's this deception that makes the trick work, and it was this deception first introduced by Gardner in his 12 Tricks with a Borrowed Deck. He had the face-to-face fantasy. He would do this with 2 selected cards. I'm going to suggest this is a good way to find the jokers in the deck. So if you need to take 2 jokers out of a shuffle deck, just do this. Take half of the deck and turn it face up like this. Place it face to face with the other part of the deck. So you'll have some cards going this way, some cards going this way. And it's just 3 taps, and look what you get. 1 card will turn over. Oh, it's a joker. So yeah, this is a good way to get the jokers out of the deck. That's the first one. Let's go for the second one. Same procedure. So half of the deck goes face up so that some are face up, some are face down, some are this way, and some are that way. Again, just 1, 2, 3 taps. I'm just making this up as I go. And then we have, yeah, there it is, the second joker, and that is the Gardner face-to-face fantasy. And as mentioned, Martin did use this to find 2 selected cards, and you could do yourself a favor and go read 12 Tricks with a Borrowed Deck. In fact, you could read everything Gardner ever published and be happy about that choice. But it was this book where he introduced the Optical Revolve move by Tenkai, and most of you probably know Tenkai from his famous palm, which cleverly disguises hidden cards in your hand. In this procedure, that's the Tenkai palm. And if you have the Tarbell course in magic, and you should, look inside volume 1 and you'll find Tenkai's reversed card mystery. That effect doesn't use any selections. You could do this with just 1 selection. The Gardner routine uses 2. We're going to do 4 cards. It's a very flexible procedure. And let's get started with the modus operandi. It's just a reversed card at the face of the pack. So this would be our secret setup if we were just going to do a simple reversal. And here we're just going to describe the Tenkai Optical Revolve move. And it's this: after showing all of the cards facing the same way, as you apparently revolve half of the deck face up and half of the deck face down, you actually just turn the deck over. So it's kind of a ruse, an optical illusion that fools the eyes, as the case might be. It just looks like half of the cards get turned face up. And what is happening is both of my wrists are moving simultaneously, and I'll walk you through this briefly now. So again, my reverse cards at the face of the pack, approaching the deck face down by the short ends, thumb at the back, fingers at the front, lifting up about half of the pack. This hand begins to turn palm up, revolving at the wrist as noted. As that happens, the other hand turns palm down at the wrist. May be good to get this hand moving just a fraction of an inch sooner so that the eye follows that moving object. This is in the background. And then to continue this effect after you've done this ruse, I will either do like a one-hand fan, or it's often acceptable to ribbon spread these cards on the table. And so now we have one card reversed here. If you need that in over the shoulder view, this is the deck in dealing grip. The right hand approaches from above, begins the turning action. The left hand turns to follow suit. This is the Tenkai Optical Revolve procedure. Now we're going to follow this with either a little one-hand fan or a ribbon spread of the deck, and then it will be subsequently followed with a shuffle of the pack, unless you're doing the Gardner routine where it just goes face to face. And I'll explain that sequence briefly as well. But Gardner added the 2 selections to the mystery, and you can go read his 12 tricks with a borrowed deck. I suggested it's a great way to find the jokers, and if you want to do that, just preset your deck by having the jokers reversed on the face of the pack. You know what I like to do actually is put one card on top of that. So here's the setup. It's a deck of face-up cards, then the 2 jokers, and then one card on top of that. So now we can begin with a deck that's apparently all the same direction. And when we're ready to do this effect, I'll do a milk shuffle. So this is an overhand milk shuffle with my fingertips at the face of the packet. As I begin the shuffle, I'm going to use the tips of the fingers to drag that card along. So this is the overhand shuffle, right? Standard overhand shuffle, but the fingertips will drag that face card on the first mix with the top card. And now I can replace this right-hand packet below, and I'm ready to get into the effect with these cards now reversed at the face of the packet. So that's the way that I like to start the effect, with an extra face-up card on top of those face-down reverse cards. When you're ready to do this 2-card Joker revelation, display the pack as all face down. Don't go to the bottom. That will be different magic. Square the pack and execute the Optical Revolve. Place into dealing grip, showing cards go this way and that way. And here's the Gardner procedure. You say some go this way. You take the top card, this is a Joker, put it into the middle of the deck, so it's going to be reversed now. Some go that way. Put this card in there. And if you do 3 taps or whatever baloney you want to create to make the effect happen, it makes one of the jokers turn face up. And again, this could be 2 selected cards if you want to go that route. Repeat the procedure, and that's the second joker. So Optical Revolve, some go this way, some go that way. You might want to do some cut displays to show cards are face to face, face up and face down. Again, some go this way, some go that way. That's a little discrepant, but it's irrelevant. And that is how you would do the Gardner. What did Martin call this? The face-to-face fantasy. And we thank Gardner for introducing the world to the Tenkai Optical Revolve. All right, now let's take a look at how Nick Trost applied this Optical Revolve to Marlo's Topsy Turvy Ace concept. And to do that, we're going to start with 4 of a kind reversed at the face of the pack. So that will be our secret setup, 4 cards reversed at the face. If you want to be extra deceptive, put an extra card there, as I recommended before, so we can start with the deck apparently all the same direction, and using that milk shuffle secretly remove that card, placing us into the needed stack. And then we begin the Nick Trost handling with the Optical Revolve procedure, ribbon spreading half of the face-up deck on the table. Now, as I do this, I like to spread these cards a little bit to indicate what is apparently a face-down packet. It's actually a face-up deck with 4 aces on top. So as you spread the ribbon spread here, just nudge these cards askew slightly, and then begin your closed riffle shuffle. Again, this packet's on the left side, so that the non-indices are showing. I let that block of 4 drop lastly on top, so they'll all be discovered face up as a unit. This is a nice display for your audience to see the cards going into each other, slowly square everything up. And now we're going to get into Nick Trost cutting display. Let me do it for you quickly, and then we'll walk through some of the details. So here's the Nick Trost cutting display. Some go this way, some go that way. Somewhere in here are the 4 aces, and if I've done my job correctly, I think I've tracked them all face up to the center of the deck, and that's the Nick Trost Topsy Turvy Ace cutting display in Revelation. So, rewinding just a bit, our aces are at the face of the pack. We've done the optical revolve, the ribbon spread, the nudge, our closed shuffle, square the pack, and then heed the details for this cutting display. The top half gets cut to the right, and as you do so, the bottom half gets flipped face down. Okay? So we're going to reverse the bottom half in this position. From here, we're going to alternate crisscrossing as we drop 1/4 of each packet to the table. So I'm going to drop 1/4 of the packet to the table, lift up, and then I'm going to crisscross the hands. Now, as I do this, I'm indicating I'm looking at the cards. This is my presentation. I say, yeah, as I give these cards some cuts, and I crisscross and leave 1/4 of the cards to the table. Now I uncross and leave another, what is in a sense, half of what's left to the table. And then I'm going to cross again and drop them here, creating an apparent more of a mishmash mess, but actually setting things up to work, and it will work if you flip these packets down towards yourself 180 degrees, one onto the other, and then I like to push these together and lever them up, square the pack. Now in this condition, these reverse cards are going to be a little bit off center, so before you do the revelation, give a little bit of a cut to centralize the reversed quads. It just makes the finale look a little bit better, and whatever hoodoo voodoo you do it now and allow your spectators to revel in your apparent card mastery, the revelation of the 4 aces. Now we're not done talking about this trick yet. I want to talk about my little touch, my addition to the trick, and that is adding the selection or the addition of an apparent free choice of a target card. And what this does is make the effect a little more emotionally involved for your spectator, giving them a choice in the outcome and making the revelation more apparently mysterious because they get to pick which cards get reversed. So to do this variant, we're just going to reverse 3 cards on the face of the pack. There's the 3 aces. The 4th ace gets placed face up here, and then we place our X card on top of it, and this is your setup for the version of the effect you saw me open this video with. I begin with a ribbon spread, just not showing the bottom stack. That's a different magic again. You don't want to reverse cards prematurely, so ribbon spread in this fashion, square the pack, a milk shuffle to lose this card as you introduce the effect, talking about maybe shuffle tracking. We now have our stack to the bottom of the pack with the ace and the bottom 3 cards reversed above it. And we're going to begin what is, in a sense, an overhand shuffle milk force. So it's kind of, think of this as like an Hindu shuffle force, but with overhand, then we're going to milk a card to start, just like we've been doing with all the other handlings. So as we begin our overhand shuffle, the fingertips will milk that initial ace into its hand, shuffling the deck, and now we ask our spectators just to say stop. We've asked them already, so just say stop anywhere. When they say stop, you table the right hand's half. This is going to be the reverse cards on the face of the packet, and then drag this card from the face. Maybe you show it to them. Maybe you put it in their hand. You can use your creative license as to whether this gets revealed before or after the topsy-turvy effect is accomplished. And with this card set aside, we're now ready just to go into the topsy-turvy, and we do it just as I described before, showing the deck to be all face down, executing that deceptive optical revolve, spreading some of these as we ribbon spread the deck, the tight shuffle, the display as they're squared, and then the Nick Trost cutting display to the right, revolve, crisscross, uncross, crisscross, and then flip-flop each packet down upon itself, and then you cut about 1/3 of the deck from the face to the back to centralize the 4 of a kind. Probably theatrically best to ribbon spread to show 3 cards are upside down. You say, what card? And then it can show that. So we get an effect of the deck writing itself, and then we see if we've managed to match the 4 of a kind. And of course we have, because we have watched a Doug Kahn tutorial on YouTube. And I hope I'm not being overly confident in my ability to teach card magic. Hey, if you did find this useful, it's easy to hit the like button, maybe drop a subscribe, and that does let the algorithm know we're working for you. And hey, if your appetite to be a cardician is not quite fulfilled, I will leave a playlist over here, and we'll see you over there.